right, Jesse. Thank you. God bless you.
You too,
Hi.
buddy.
Good
Thank
morning.
you. Good morning.
Amen. Morning, Jesse. Now it's I'm turning 37 today, and it's wanted to call you for my birthday just to
Happy
say thank
birthday,
you.
man. That's amazing.
Thank you, brother.
37.
Amen. Yes, sir. And I want to confirm everything you've taught in my own life. You know, I have two brothers, older brothers, two brother-in-laws, and in my opinion, the Mexican mother is 10 times worse. But it's a spiritual warfare. And
Yes.
I stood up 2 years ago because you have to. If you don't, fellas, evil and sickness will come in.
Yes.
In one way or another. It will come in one way or another, either through one way or another. It comes in, and I ended up, like you said, the paint on the wall, the dogs, everything. It'll, and it happened. I personally, went through it, ended up in the hospital, ended up with seizures, but I stood up to the three-headed dragon, which is my mother-in-law, my mother, my wife, the three females in my life, and I forgave, I did it all, and I'm now today reflecting back, and it's just amazing. I'm like you say, I'm ended up being my own parents, my parents. This morning, my father called me from Mexico. My mom, they got another respect. It's something spiritual, really, and I'm in victory now. I got my land, got my home, I got two boys. I'm the head of my wife, and it's just something amazing, spiritual. It's just, I love you, Jesse. God bless you so much, and I'm so grateful. I have a fearful gratefulness to God, and it's just amazing. I just wanted to let any man out there know, you have to stand up. You have to stand up.
Yes,
There's
absolutely.
consequences if you don't. There is consequences if you don't.
Yes, and I think
Satan will come in and get your wife to cheat on you. You cheat your children. I mean, it's just, I can just talk forever about it, but it's real. It's the truth, and I'm real grateful. It's just amazing.
You're welcome, man. That's an amazing testimony. God bless you for that. And you're right. What most men and women don't know, you got to go and deal with your mother. You got to forgive her. You got to face her. It's the hardest thing in the world for adult men and women to do is to face mama. But if you want to be born again of the Spirit of God, if you want to overcome mama, you got to deal with her. Forgive her and forgive your father for not protecting you, and you'll be fine. Amazing, sir.
How did you know that it was coming from the mother? I mean, we can sense it, right? As a man, you can see it in the eyes. Like there's something there. It's called it, whatever it is, but it's evil, and I used to call it it. I would look at either my mother-in-law, my wife. I look right into their eyes when I stood up to them, and I call it it. It's something called it. But
yes, well, you
can stand up to it, and there's victory. There's victory afterward. It's just amazing.
It is.
Wow.
The way God allowed me to see, because I didn't know either, right? And I've been hurt. Yeah. You think you love your mama because you feel that emotion for her and all that, but that comes from hate. And he allowed me to see that it was my mother and that I needed to forgive her. And
and you say just be, because I got brothers-in-laws and big brothers and big brother-in-laws, beta. But they're seeing my life. They're seeing it. And I'm seeing the respect. I'm seeing the honor. It's something spiritual that it's affecting them in a good way, hopefully. But it's just something that's deep. But there's victory. You have to stand up. If you're a man and you don't stand up, it's unbelievable. The amount of betas, but it's sad at the same time because, oh man, I was asleep, of course. And when I was younger, I went to prison when I was 18. Ended up coming out of there a prison gang leader, just from being a man, respect, honor. You can't be, something real and fake. I really can't explain the spiritual, but it's something about being a man that man should take as something special, honorable. It's a big responsibility to be a man, and you can't submit to your mothers, especially. I mean, that's embarrassing. But the Mexican mother is worse than the black mother, Jesse. And I'll get encouraged to do a Mexican podcast over here because they actually take the spiritual role as God. Because of the Virgin Mary, that's the number one thing in the Mexican tradition is the Virgin Mary. That's the mother of God, and it's something they take on that. The mothers will say, "Well, I'm the Virgin Mary too. I'm the the God of the family," and it's amazing to see it. It's just, I know it. I stood up to my mother-in-law, her brother, her son. I wasn't even there, but I did. I wasn't right, and it's about being right, loving right, standing firm, and you'll be okay. It's crazy, but you'll be okay. But if not, you'll get sick. Your family Satan will get a hold of them through adultery, through whatever you want to call it. But that's Satan coming in because you didn't stand up. But I'm 37 today. I'm reflecting back. I got my acre. I got my 3-bedroom trailer. I got my son, my wife. I got a 19-year-old that I had he's 20 now, at a wedlock, Jesse, when I was, 16 years old. But
Yes.
And I was curious about him because, I pushed on. He finished school. He got his job. I had him. I believe I raised him there, but he took off. Question is, I'm raising my 5-year-old now, and there's a difference because the one out of wedlock was raised up to the age of 6 by his mother. And does that still have an effect up until this age?
Yes. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Let me take a short break.
Sorry.
All right. Don't hang up.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. So, Israel, if I'm correct, you have a 6-year-old son, right?
I have a 5-year-old and a 20-year-old.
And how's the 20-year-old doing right now?
I didn't get him until he was 6 years old from his mother out of wedlock when I was younger, and he got what we call whooped. He got himself with a female, moved in her apartment, and I ain't heard him since.
Yeah.
I ain't heard from him since.
I guarantee you, Israel, it's because he resent his mother, so he resent all women. Women will become his God. And so
I figured that.
If you ever find him again or talk to him, just let him know. You can't make him change, but you can tell him what's going on. He needs to forgive his mother for turning him away from you and forgive you for not being there to protect him. And then, but you can't, really, it's the same spirit. And until he either suffer and cry out to God or listen to you, he's going to have a hard life.
Yes, I know what you're saying. I can see that, everything, that the spirit of the anger that's in the women, you say black women and Mexican women versus Mexican women, it's very more scarier in the Mexican because it seems to be spiritual. The black female, you can almost see it outside, and it's almost laughable because it's just outburst, rage, anger. But the Mexican mother goes deep, spiritual with her anger. She tries to go in deep with her sons and daughters. And my wife, thank God, it took years, Jesse, but ended up waking up, like you said, the paint comes off, everything. The dog started having seizures, and I knew it was spiritual. I woke up one morning, in my bed, I'd bitten my tongue, and there was blood on the pillow, of course, and the paramedics were already in my room. I woke up to that, and I was like, what is going on? My wife looked at me all crazy. You had a seizure. And I was like, okay, so caught off guard. And ever since that day, it's just something I started taking serious. I had time because I was off of work then, so I was able to listen to the show and everything. It's just on point. More encouraged me to stand up, and it's just a testimony. If you don't stand up, you'll have negative consequences, negative spiritual consequences in your life. You just have to stand up. You're already a man. It's just, but the amount of betas, it's just, but that anger, that spirit of anger, it's worse in the Mexican mothers because it goes deep.
Amazing.
They go deep. My brother-in-law's a big man, and they're embarrassed to come around me now. It's just gotten to that point where.
Well,
I'm amazed at the amount of betas, and I can't believe it because they're men. But I stood up to their own mother. My mother, she gave me that look when I told her I forgive you. She looked at me, that spiritual look that I've never even had her look at me. It's like a deep look.
Yeah.
Like recognized that I went somewhere. I was like, whoa, it's almost scary.
Yeah, it's evil because it's an evil spirit that made a home in the mother. And it's been kept. It's such an amazing secret. And they blame the father, but it's not coming from the father. It's coming from the mother.
She's like, what else? What she... What do you got to forgive me for? He almost killed me. Your dad almost killed me. That whole. I remember. I grew up on it, but I love my dad. He called me this morning. He's in Mexico for doing all that domestic, but that's between them two.
Yes.
It's something spiritual. He has problem with his mom. I've already been able to reflect back after these 2 years of listening and observing. It's just amazing.
Yes.
To be observing now, but it gives you the encouragement to want to do it for Mexicans. In Spanish, I would like to do a bond in Spanish because. I've always stood firm as a man. Like I said, I went to prison when I was 18, and I came out of there a speaker. I was made a speaker, grown man. I would sit down at the table. It would be the black, the white, and the other Mexicans, gangs, and we would. I'd be chosen to speak right there. And when it came down to the wardens, I would be speaking to the wardens. But it comes down to not what size you are. I'm 120 pounds, 5'7". But the eye contact, Jesse, being a man, honor and respect is something that God gave us as men, and.
Yeah,
we need to take that serious. It's something real special that women don't got. And I wanted to make a statement, a comment. What you think is going out there by saying the Bible was meant for men.
Very, very. You're 100% correct. 100%.
It wasn't meant for women to read. It's for men. It was for men to read.
That's right. And the whole dynamic is about men returning to the Father. Because
Amen. Love
if
it.
men were to return to the father, they would naturally bring their woman back and they would protect their children.
Yes,
And what
you'll
happened
get the respect from your mother-in-law. You'll get the respect from your mother.
Yeah.
Your wife will be in love with you, amazed, and you'll know that you know that you know that you know that you know. And it's just, come on, man. It's like, Joe Biden, come on, man. Anyway, Jesse, God bless you. I love you so much. Today's my birthday. I wanted to give myself, gift by calling you. I'm nervous, but I just wanted to confirm what you're doing. It's special, and it's God sent.
Well, happy birthday. Israel, will you hold for me? I want Nick to get your contact, and someone's going to call you from my office and see what we can do to work together, all right?
And man, yes, I'm in West Texas. Trump came here about a month ago, and it's nothing but Mexicans here and blacks, and I've seen them both working. I've seen them both at the burrito line, cashing checks. So ain't got nothing to do with all that, what's going on.
That's right.
Work.
Well, it's a joy to hear from you, buddy. Hold on. I'm going to have
Thank
Nick
you.
get your information. I'm going to contact you later.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, hold on. Amazing testimony. Amazing. And and he's right. It's about the men returning. That's why the attack is so on the men, because even in the fallen state, they still are sons of God. They just went away from the Father. They were taken away from the Father, but they still belong to Him. That's why the Father calling them back. Really. Because the power is in the Father. They are sons of God. You have not been demoralized just because they didn't have anything else to do, folks. Men, you got to overcome mama and return to the Father. You don't have to, but you can suffer and die. Or you could be born again and live. It's up to you. Do what you want. You stay on the drugs, on the alcohol, on the sex, on the little game you're playing with yourself, and you're going to live to regret it. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.